Ohio.
BVO Basket.
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Miss BVO, what's that? Yo, what's up? Hold on one second. Yo, what's up? It's your boy, BVO Sports TV. We back. And guess what, man? David Benavidez is getting called out again. Yes, all the David sexuals, I know y'all mad. Excuse me, Miss BVO, I gotta use that name. The David fangirls are so mad. But guess what? Guess who came out? Max Kellerman. One of the biggest goofballs in boxing comes out and says, you know what? David Benavidez has never been a champion. So what is he talking about? Joe Batai has to prove himself before he fights him. And let's not forget, and I want to make sure I make this clear, because a lot of guys have not been doing their research on BVO. Shoot my man SS, shoot my man CDK. Hey, both y'all brothers, man, become a member, man. I need y'all to support, man. But keep this in mind. Both the times at 68 and 75, I will give it to you guys. David Benavidez was ducked relentlessly. But I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. No one is ducking him at cruiserweight. McKellian looked like he wanted to make the fight. With my man Free. McKellian wanted to make the fight. With Joe Batai, and then hopefully go into a fight, with David Benavidez. But you know what? It's kind of clear right now that David Benavidez is not who y'all thought he was. He's not who y'all thought he was. He's an absolute goofball. And he's doing the same stuff. Let's remember, this is the same stuff. And BVO's been saying this. BVO in the doghouse have been ahead of this game. Everybody want to copy us now. Everybody want to copy the doghouse now. So my man Josh must eat her out of her drawers. My man Josh. That boy Josh a cold dude. That brother, she gonna eat her out of her drawers. That's a meeting right there. Shout out to Louisville. But I'm gonna say this. The thing that people gotta remember is this. The doghouse has been first. We have been first and going in talking about this, because guess what? David Benavidez is exactly what I said he is, a Mexican pussycat. It's so bad that he's ducking. You got Max Kellerman? Not Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman got something to say? Y'all gotta stop this now. Hold on. Rewind. Max Kellerman got something to say about the ducking? Max Kellerman talking about, what is this guy talking about? He's never been champion? And that's a fact. David Benavidez, when he was champion at 168, and Caleb Plant was champion at 168, he never unified. Never even looked Caleb Plant's way. The moment that he got knocked out by Canelo, that's when he wanted to make the fight. So to my brother Frontline. Hey, Frontline, Josh, be free. Y'all become members, man. Help this channel grow. But I'm gonna say this. The thing that's so funny about all this talking is that now the truth is coming out. And the truth is, David Benavidez and his punk ass daddy have been lying to the fans since day one. And that's just what it comes down to. And you're going to have a lot of haters and David sexuals. Like we got a David sexual in the chat right now. We're going to have some David sexuals come up here and say, you got to do this, man, come on, bro. At the end of the day, man, this brother Benavidez running around here like a feline, bro. Hey, he said Benavidez, wife Ja and better be stop the cat. Hey, let me see it. How about that, Frontline? Don't tell me. Let me see it. Because I heard the old man say, I wanted to fight him after he got done fighting Anthony Yarde and he ducked me. Come on, why in the world Artur Beterbiev lie? We've never seen Artur Beterbiev even talk. But now he's going out his way to say, hey, David Benavidez is a duck. And that's what it is, bro. Y'all got to accept it. Just because y'all love him and y'all care about him, yo, David's a duck, y'all. We got to call the truth, man. Tell the truth, man. Stop all that lying, man. Tell the truth, man. David Benavidez don't want no work, man. Can y'all just tell the truth? Look to my brother Bentley, man. Bentley, become a member, dog. We need you. My whole thing is this. All the lies and games that everybody like to talk and play, guess what? Everything's coming to light. Everything's coming to light. Everything's coming to light. And guess what, y'all? David Benavidez has been shown to be a pussycat. Because I'm going to tell you what. Why would Max Kellerman, let's remember that. We talking about Max Kellerman from HBO, now, First Take, now he's on Ring Magazine. Why is Max Kellerman saying David Benavidez needs to fight the lineal champion? Because Max knows what the right thing to do is. If you say you're the best in the division, you fight the best fighter. But for some reason, I can't tell you what that reason is. We see that David Benavidez has shown you that he's not interested in fighting the best. Y'all got to stop calling him the monster, and y'all need to call him what he is, David. He's not the monster, man. He's not the monster, bro. He's not the monster at all. He's a feline. Because guess what? If he was a monster, you wouldn't see Artur Beterbiev coming out talking about him. You wouldn't see Joe Bataille saying that's an easy fight to make. Now you got Max Kellerman coming out saying, what is David talking about? Yeah, David was ducked. I'm going to tell y'all David sexual something. David was ducked at 68. David was ducked at 68. So we're not going to play games like he wasn't. He was. David was absolutely ducked at 68. But we're not going to sit here and play this game as if David wasn't, if he was just like he's this big bad dude who was going to fight anybody. That's not true. That's not true, y'all. David Benavidez is a guy who's been with PBC and really has been spoon-fed guys for the most part. When have you ever seen David Benavidez in a 50-50 fight? Oh, wait. Never. Never in life, because he's not that type of dude. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, when he gets smashed, I want y'all to say, you know what? BVO said it first. BVO said it first. Because I'm telling y'all the truth, man. I don't have time to lie to my people. I love y'all. And I care about everybody that support the doghouse. At the end of the day, you can't sit here and tell me that David Benavidez is any of these things that y'all call him that don't want to fight nobody. Hold on one second. How did you get up here, dude? Hold on one second. We set this brother in the back for a second. We ain't through cooking yet. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell y'all like this. What we see going on with David Benavidez is exactly the same stuff y'all say y'all hated about Canelo. So if y'all hate that about Canelo, hey, you got to stop this, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Shout out to my brother Bentley. Bentley, you've been a real fool-ass Earthman lately. You really have been. But you're still my guy. You've been a real fool-ass Earthman, for real. I'm going to tell you this, because I'm going to cook y'all's boy for y'all, too. I got my pan ready. But let me finish this cook first. My whole thing is this. You can't sit here and tell me David Benavidez is this big bad dude. He wouldn't fight a 40-year-old dude. What are we talking about here? What are we even talking about here? Let's be honest here. What are we talking about? The guy is not who y'all say he is. He's not, and he never will be. And I'm going to tell you the caveat to all of it is this. David Benavidez has to actually fight somebody for us to give him some credit. The dude ain't fought nobody, but we got to give him all this credit. We seen Ja fight Breeders. That's his one. Who was David's one? A blown up Demetrius Andre. That's his one. But I'm going to just tell y'all like this. At no time is BVO ever going to mislead the people. At no time is BVO ever going to give you guys bad information. Y'all see what I'm talking about. Y'all see what I'm talking about. The fact is this: how in the world did Max Kellerman get up and say the same stuff that BVO's been saying? Yikes! Yikes! Did Max Kellerman get up here and say the same stuff BVO been saying? Zurdo Ramirez. Because guess what? I don't tell y'all no lies. I don't do no capping. I don't try to put on for nobody. At the end of the day, I want to see the best fight the best. You heard me? I want to see the best fight the best. And how we do it here in the doghouse is we keep it real. I don't need to play videos about nobody. All I'm going to do is tell you what I see and what the facts are. And the facts remain. My brother Bentley has been a real fool-ass Earthman, but he's my guy still. Josh has been a real fool-ass Earthman too, but he's still my guy. But I'm going to say this. The thing that y'all got to remember is this. When David Benavidez gets stopped, I want y'all brothers to make sure y'all keep that same energy, you heard? Keep that same energy when he gets stopped. Don't be talking about, oh, BBO, yeah, you was right. No. Artur Beterbiev don't even talk about nobody. But Artur Beterbiev felt it appropriate to bring up David Benavidez. What did he do? He brought up David Benavidez being a duck. Y'all want to tell me the guy who don't talk is lying now? Y'all want to say Max Kellerman is lying now? Come on, y'all. There's too much facts, man. I get facts on top of facts, yo. This shouldn't even be called BVO Sports TV. This should be called Facts TV because I'm just bringing y'all facts. But let me bring my brother in here. He in the background. I know people are scared. People are terrified because BVO is bringing the truth. We don't do no pickle pulling over here, you heard? We only speak the facts. He said, do the same when he beats your favorite fighter. He said, David never fought. Ain't no killer. He Benavidez at 36. Even Arthur is not playing with those boys yet. Pussy Vida is shocked when 41-year-old Arthur called him. Yet, hey, King James, you should become a channel member, dog, because you speaking facts, dog. People don't like when you speak facts like that. Look at my brother Bentley. He being a fool-ass Earthman right now. What he say? LOL, BBO, don't make me remind you who got pie with the Ryan pickle pulling. And Billy's my brother. You talking about something from 3 years ago? But let me bring Free up. I know he want to get fried, so we're gonna bring Free up. What's going on? The Puerto Rican Princess in the house, man.
What's good?
So we see you giving a lot of fraudulent information, even though we got Max Kellerman, my man Artur Beterbiev, who you said you were a fan of, going out their way to tell you that Benavidez is a duck, man. So what's going on now?
All right. First off, what's good? What's good to everybody in the chat? The thing is, Arthur was supposed to fight on the undercard of David Benavidez and Anthony Yarde. We heard prior to that fight being made, prior to that fight happening, that PBC and Oscar De La Hoya had already lined up the Zurdo fight. That fight was already lined up. So you talking about Arthur wanted to fight David Benavidez. Arthur was supposed to have a trilogy with Demetrius Bivol. That's the reason why David Benavidez didn't fight Demetrius Bivol. Once again, Arthur had a fight lined up. Arthur pulled out of his fight for whatever reason. I don't know the reason why he pulled out of his fight, but he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to be the co-main. He pulled out. Now, you want to go to Jai Oberthal. All right. Well, I guess you and Max Kellerman hasn't done your research because there was a guy by the name of Sean from Fight Hype, and he did his own research. He talked to Jose Benavidez. He talked to Jai Oberthal's team. What the outcome of him talking to both teams, Jai Oberthal, back in March, before he had his fight, before David had his fight, he had already signed up or lined up to fight Noel. That fight was already lined up. He was fighting Brandon I believe it was the end of March. He was fighting Brandon. So he already had 2 fights lined up. Like I told you already before, I said he already had 2 fights lined up. Y'all didn't want to believe me. But once again, he had 2 fights lined up. Jose Benavidez had been reaching out to that team since Zurdo and David Benavidez fight ended. He reached out to that team for 2 weeks straight. Never got a call back, never got an answer. They came back and said, well, the reason why we didn't call Jose Benavidez back is because we was told that Sampson was the guy that we need to talk to. So they never reached back out to Jose Benavidez. They was moving forward with the Noel fight. They turned around and called Jose Benavidez after Noel got mandated to fight David Benavidez. Now all of a sudden they want to call Jose Benavidez. They want to call Jose Benavidez and try to make the fight with David Benavidez now that Noel is mandated to fight David Benavidez. Not only that, we just seen at the daggone Zurdo fight, I think it was the Zurdo fight, it might have been the fight after Zurdo. He was Jao Obertai was at a fight and he said he's moving forward with the Noel fight, and then he's looking to get the winner of the 2 guys that's fighting at cruiserweight this weekend. Once again, not mentioning David Benavidez, which I keep saying he wants David Benavidez, but he had 3 fights that he was trying to get before David Benavidez, which I keep saying he wants David Benavidez. So, like I said, Jao Obertai team reach out to Jose Benavidez because they heard that Noel got mandated to fight David. So they didn't make the fight with David because they was making a fight with Noel, and they said they didn't reach out to Jose because they needed to talk to Sampson. So they asked him, have you ever made an offer to David Benavidez by reaching out to Sampson? The answer was no. They haven't reached out to Sampson. So all this talk that Jai wants to fight David Benavidez, they knew the guy that they needed to reach out to. They knew who they need to talk to make the fight. They never reached out to no parts of David Benavidez's team until Noel got mandated to fight David Benavidez. So once again, where are you getting that Jai Obertai wants to fight David Benavidez? What action are you getting that Jai Obertai is pushing for the David Benavidez when he was fighting Brandon? He had already lined up the Noel fight before he even fought Brandon, and then he said he was trying to fight the winner of the cruiserweight guys that's fighting this weekend. I forgot the guy's name, but they fighting this weekend. That's 3 fights. Where is David at? Why David ain't in this conversation? Y'all keep saying that David is ducking him, but he's the one that's trying to fight everybody else, not named David. So where your information coming from, BVO?
Let's do this. Free is being a fool-ass Earthman right now, and that's okay. That's okay. What I'll say is this. We already know about the Noel fight, McKalian. We knew that Noel McKalian was going to be the fight after Brendan Glenn because we seen at the Zuffa premiere that Noel McKalian and Carl King, who are from Cleveland, Carl King's from Cleveland, Ohio, they actually did a face-off. So this is old news. This is not, you're not really giving us any real things, but I'll say this. The thing was this. He had the IBF belt. McKalian had a WC belt. So he said, we're going to unify with McKalian, and then hopefully at this point, then we'll get the 2 belts with Zurdo because he had WO, WBA, and then that'd be unified. The thing is this. The IBF threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing by stripping him of the title. And now what's happened is this. McKalian came out and did a video. You know, I don't like to play other people's content, so I'm not going to play it here. But McKalian came out during Memorial Day weekend and said, hey, you know what? On the Garcia Ben card that people said Zuffa's not working with the belts, but come September on the Ben Garcia card, why don't we put another WC champion, McKalian versus Obertai? And that fight was going to be done. Carl King said he wanted to see that fight finish. He wanted to see that fight get done. And the thing that's so funny about David Benavidez fans, or as they call them, we call them belovedly David Sexuals, is that they'll make up any other reason why a fight shouldn't happen. We heard this man, David Benavidez, say, you know what? I want to fight Bivol, who was at the time been out the ring 15 months and just had back surgery. And then on top of that, we seen now some propaganda out there because people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear like half truths and lies. But it was clear. Scully sat right by him. I believe Scully is still his trainer. Scully sat right by Artur Beterbiev. And Artur Beterbiev said, I wanted that David fight. But David went another direction and fought Zurdo. So my whole thing is this. Why is a guy who's never came out and said anything? We've never heard Arthur say anything negative about anybody. Even when they wouldn't even let WC, even when Mauricio's punk tail wouldn't let him unify with Dmitry Bivol. Never spoke a bad word, ever. He comes out and says, David Benavidez is a PUSSY. Why is he saying that? Gotcha, because it's the truth. When have you guys ever heard Artur Beterbiev say a mumbling word about anything? The man was, Scully went so far, shout out to my man Puerto Rican Tommy, he went so far to say that Arthur doesn't even really watch boxing like that. Am I wrong, Freaks? That's not what Scully said about Arthur that doesn't even keep up with boxing? Or am I making that up? Is that not what Scully said?
No, that's exactly what he said.
So he says that, but all of a sudden now, David Benavidez has 2 of the cruiserweight crowns, and you see the fight can be made with Beterbiev, and the fight don't get made, and Beterbiev call him everything but a child of God. Come on, y'all. Beterbiev is not lying. He's not lying. David doesn't want this. We've seen Jose Benavidez get on Host City and talk crazy about how he want to fight. Then he said that João Obitai's chinny will beat him up. What does it offer to us? It's the same playbook that Canelo used against David. But I love how David Benavidez fans, it's okay. It's a bad thing when Canelo denied the man what they say, 3 years, we waited for opportunity, 3 years. But it's okay to see them steal this from João Obitai. And then Mauricio is in on it. Why is Mauricio in on it? Because they're looking for another Mexican face of boxing. Canelo is 35 plus years old. He's almost done. Let's call it what it is. Mauricio did something he wouldn't even do for Errol Spence. He wouldn't do for Deontay Wilder when he had the belt. He mandated their champion to fight for the unified, for the crown. So the thing is this. However you guys want to defend David Benavidez, that's fine. I get it. I think he's a terrific fighter. I think he doesn't have any nuts. He moves around like a pendejo, and that's okay. He's not the only mighty cone I ever seen that boxed. That's just David's prerogative. Jose Benavidez is the mighty cone. Jose Benavidez is a pendejo. We know this about these guys. But it's funny how now Arthur jumps in and says, this dude's a duck. So if everybody's saying the same thing, BVO's been saying this for 6 months. We're saying it for 6 months. Mike Cullerman gets on today and say, you know what, David Benavidez has never been champion. What is he even talking about? Fight Joe Obitai and shut up. But y'all want to go at BVO because I'm going to bring you the truth, man. It's a lot of dudes that want to give you these lies and half truths, man. It's just sickening because I'm telling you, the saddest thing is this. They are afraid that David Benavidez is going to get stretched out like a coat. That's the problem. And that corrupt piece of trash, Mauricio Suleiman, and I'm saying it because of this, Mauricio Suleiman has shown to have a bias if you don't have Mexican descent. It doesn't matter. If you're not a Mexican American or a Mexican native, he doesn't want you to have a green belt. Jose Suleiman is rolling over in his grave at the top of racism and politician bullcrap that you're getting from Mauricio Suleiman. Let me read a couple of these comments. He says, so David is a monster. Okay, that's a pickle pool. The WBC said in the interview that Zuffa at this point is a promotional company, so the fighters are allowed to fight for the belt as long as it's under the WBC rule. And that's the fact, because we got to remember, the Ali Act has not been amended. It has not went through Congress. It hasn't been amended. So at this point, Zuffa is nothing more than a dog promotional company like the PBC or anything else. Because you guys remember, the PBC wanted to do the same thing that Zuffa's doing. They even wanted to have their own belt. But because it was Al Heyman, they didn't give him a chance. But it's just funny how everybody loves to do all this, right? David Benavidez. I just want to say this. David Benavidez ain't fought nobody. I'm sorry to tell y'all that. I'm sorry to give you the news that y'all didn't want to hear. He's never fought anybody. And he probably won't, because he wants to fight easy fights. He knew he could beat Yarde. He knew he could beat Zurdo. Didn't he fight his sparring partner? Isn't that the same thing when Canelo gave your Durham a chance at the belt? Y'all see how y'all do that? Y'all forget the truth when it doesn't fit y'all's narratives. But go ahead. I'm gonna read a couple more comments. The WC president He said, so Zuffa is an exclusive. Hold on, is the excuse to duck. With this logic, your favorite fighter is gonna get put to duck. He said David's daddy on some BS. WBC, no job really gonna mess the money up for everyone if he beat the Mexican monster. And see, you just said something right there. You just earned yourself a wrench. You just said something right there that dudes are scared to say. And the fact is this: dudes are scared to say that John Obertai is going to mess up the apple cart because he's going to beat the crap out of David Benavidez. And that's what they don't want to tell y'all. That's what my brother Free don't want to tell y'all. Is that if he stops David Benavidez, it's going to mess a lot of people's money up. But what you think about everybody in the chat saying how David Benavidez and his daddy are playing games?
I don't care about what people in the chat is talking about. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to them in the chat.
It's a show, baby.
And I'm talking to you. They're not up here. You're up here. I'm not sitting here reading message after message. They want to talk, drop the link, and they can come up. But I like how you went on that whole spill. And did y'all notice he never answered the question that I asked him? I said, where was John Obertai pushing for the David Benavidez fight when he already had the Brandon fight? He already lined up the Noel fight, and now he's trying to fight the daggone winner of the cruiserweight bout that's going on this weekend. Where was the push for David Benavidez? Y'all keep saying he wants David Benavidez, but he's lining up fights and not trying to make the David Benavidez fight. His team never reached out to Sampson to make the fight. Where is the push for the David Benavidez fight? Once again, now you want to sit here and say, you never heard Arthur say what he said. Arthur can feel however he wants to feel. That's his prerogative. But the fact of the matter is, David Benavidez already had a fight lined up. The fight was made in November. Before he had the Anthony Yarde fight, Oscar De La Hoya came out and said, we already got a fight with David Benavidez for the Cruiserweight Unified title. They already lined it up because remember, Oscar was going through the whole legal actions with Virgil Ortiz. So he needed another big fight to make. So he made the fight with David Benavidez. He made the fight with David Benavidez. David Benavidez didn't reach out to Oscar. Oscar reached out to PBC and David Benavidez to make that fight happen. So that fight was already lined up before he even had the Anthony Yarde fight. So he had a fight already. So you saying he didn't take the Arthur fight? He already had a fight. Once again, Arthur didn't have any titles. Zurdo is a unified champion.
Oh, he didn't have no titles. Okay.
Hold up. I didn't cut you off. I let you have your long spill. You didn't answer none of the questions that I asked you, but now you want to talk.
Well, finish what you said. Finish what you said.
I didn't cut you off. I let you talk. You had the long spill. You want to read the chat's message and everything. You didn't answer.
That's what we're here for.
You didn't answer none of the questions that I asked you. So, like I said, he already had a fight lined up. Zurdo was also one of the guys that was on his list. He named 4 guys. He said he wanted to fight Demetrius Bivol, he wanted to fight Arthur, he wanted to fight Zurdo, he wanted to fight John Obertai. Zurdo landed in his lap. Why not take the fight? You ain't had no other fight lined up. They came to him with the fight. So he said, okay, that's 2 birds. I mean, that's one of my blocks out of the way. I ain't got to worry about him. That fight is already made. So he took the Zurdo fight. It's already made. Demetrius Bivol, he said he was going to fight Arthur a 3rd time, so he wasn't taking the David Benavidez fight right now. So David Benavidez inherited that belt because he was the mandatory. So Demetrius Bivol was out of the way, and they was negotiating with Arthur, so Arthur was out of the way. So he had the Anthony Yarde fight. Technically, he had the Callum Smith fight, but Turkey pulled Callum Smith, so he ended up fighting Anthony Yarde. So he fought Anthony Yarde. Like I said, Arthur was supposed to be on that card because daggone Demetrius Bivol pulled out of the daggone fight with them because he said he wanted to have it in Russia. They couldn't do it in Russia. So Demetrius Bivol pulled out of that fight. Arthur ended up getting another fight. He was supposed to be fighting Damon Nicholson. So he had a fight. David had a fight. And then, like I said, Oscar lined the other fight up. David ain't had nothing to do with that. That fight came to him. He took it. It was a unification. It was a unified title holder. One of the guys that he said he wanted to fight, and so he took it. Arthur didn't have any belt. Arthur already had a fight. They didn't come to Arthur with an offer at that time. They might have came later, but David already had a fight lined up. So what are you talking about? Once again, where's the push for Jai Obertai and David Benavidez? He keeps talking about other guys that he's about to fight, but I don't hear him pushing for David Benavidez.
Well, I'll say this, man. Let me read the chat. My man said they played the play is simple. DB say I only want to fight for the belts, for the titles. The ring belt is nothing. Josh say bet. Let me get the WC, then I'll come see you, which is a fact. He said DB jumped up and said I want the mandatory. Laugh my tail off. And I'm gonna tell you this. I think the funny thing is this is like it is not free, so I don't want to make it a personal thing because I think he's a beautiful brother. I just think that's what you get in boxing. You get a lot of these people that want to push narratives. And the truth is this, David Benavidez has shown numerous times that he doesn't want to fight the best. He's never fought the best guy in his division ever in his life. The best fight of his career has still been Vosnick at 175, who was a very good fighter. But remember, we seen Artur Beterbiev knock him out. So it is what it is. But the thing is this. So a guy who never talks comes out and says David Benavidez is a duck and he's been moving around me. No one wants to hear that, which is hilarious to me. Let me read some more of these comments. He said, here, Ja 2 weeks and the devotion is still, and the heavy Zuffa fighters can fight out the Zuffa cards. I'm not arguing with you. You entitled to your opinion. Mark my words. Remember what I said. He said David said he needs 2 years to get ready before he fights the beast like Jai Obertai. Sounds like a duck and scared to me. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's what he said. But you know, Free and a lot of people conveniently always forget that David Benavidez is the one who said you needed 2 years. No one made him say that. But see, the thing is, when you push in a narrative, that's what you will say. You'll say anything but let's fight. And that's the thing that you've gotten with a lot of content creators these days. They want to push narratives, half-truths, and like I guess they want to trick the fans. They want to trick the fans out of what's really happening. What's really happening is very simple. Jai Obertai is a young fighter who got up there on a Zuffa card and cried and said, you know what, I gave up everything for the IBF belt. I broke my jaw. If you guys remember, Breeders broke his jaw in 2 places. His jaw was hanging off. We got to remember that. Y'all thought Jake Paul's jaw break was bad. Jai Obertai's break was terrible. It was a disaster. He broke his jaw on both sides. It was hanging like snot. But the thing is this. People don't remember that Jai got up there and said, I had no other options. Eddie Hearn talked bad about me, made it seem like I can't do this and I can't do that. He pulling his last 2 fights out of his own pocket. But the David Benavidez fans, they don't want to remember that he said this. The guy is doing what he can. And it's sad because a lot of these guys don't know what it's like to struggle. For a guy like for Jai Obertai represents the people. A guy who came from a meager upbringing and was able to lift himself up, as they say, by his bootstraps and make some of himself. A lot of these guys are middle-class kids who grew up in great neighborhoods. They don't understand how hard it is to pull yourself up out of somewhere. And this man is from Australia. The man ain't from the States. The man's from Australia. But guess what? All the guys who say they want to see American boxing, this brother moved to America to make the best fights. And we could say all this political, jargon back and forth. It doesn't matter. The facts remain. David Benavidez is a duck. He's been a duck, and that's just what it is. He said, facts, PBC protecting their roster. They posted child like they did with Spence, keeping him from Bud. Right. And that's a fact. He said, David is a duck, making all these excuses. Let me read these comments. Making all these excuses. He said, Pussy Videz using the 175 as an excuse to delay fighting Ja. King James, they're going to get mad at you, bro, because you're speaking nothing but facts. When you speak facts, people get mad at you for that. He said, David turned down the deal to do your research first. That's a fact. We all know David turned the deal out. But, when you're dealing with alternative facts, people are not going to remember that. He said, DB saying he wasn't going to fight Ja because it's nothing for his legacy. Bro, what in the ring and lineal status for? He said, bro, doesn't want his biggest payday from Turkey. DB ducking smoke. He said, no fight made, stop lying, cut the BS, LOL. He said, David looking for a legacy. Ja ain't nothing to offer David, so why entertaining the fight? Ain't that the same bullcrap Canelo said to y'all boy David Benavidez? You see how y'all forget? But y'all dog Canelo. Y'all talked about Canelo like a dog. Canelo fought everybody, but y'all talked about him like a dog because he didn't want to fight David Benavidez. Yes, he ducked Benavidez. Yes, he did. But y'all got to remember, Canelo fought a monster in Austin Trout who was undefeated and beat him. Don't forget, Sugar Shane Mosley, Canelo washed him. Baltimore washed him. Y'all got to remember who the hell killed Canelo Alvarez is. Canelo Alvarez is kind of like a John Jones where he kind of overlaps some of the old and the new. Y'all can't talk crap about Canelo. Canelo fought Bud Crawford.
No.
And that's the funny thing about it. Y'all forget he fought Dimitri Bivol. When people like my brother Prize was calling kibbles and bits and all this other BS. That's the thing about these David Benavidez fans. They forget because they never been through no struggle. They never been through nothing. So when they see dogs like us in the doghouse, they don't know how to react to us because they're like, yo, y'all dudes from the bottom, we don't know how to react, man. We used to just our private school and tennis lessons. But let me get some more of these comments. He said, David's looking for legacy. He said, Mexican has never been beat. Hey, Samoan in boxing, LOL, you a goofball. He said, hey, no, Zurdo had a tune-up lined up first, then lose senior. Gaslight the F out of here. Zurdo, take the DB fight. Get your facts straight. He said, D free, he won't defend DB once. He's seen him duck yet. He's still defending him after seeing him duck from fighters themselves, not no BS boxing journalists or boxing influencers. And it's just nothing but comments like that. Cause y'all right, bro. People, and it's not about my brother. It's not about my brother D Freak. That's my guy. But the fact is, these people don't want to see the best fight the best, and that's what it is. And you see how D Freak came with all these alternative facts, not real facts, alternative facts. But go ahead, Freak.
First of all, Zurdo didn't have a tune-up lined up. That's first and foremost. Zurdo fought June of 2025. That Oscar De La Hoya came to PBC with the offer. So get your facts straight, first of all. Second of all, you keep saying David don't want the Ja Obertai fight. David was not the one making fights. Ja was. Ja lined up the Noel fight, which is 2 fights. He already knew that David was coming up to 175. Cruiserweight. That was in November. David said he was coming up to cruiserweight because the Zurdo fight was made in November. So he already knew he was coming up in November. He signed with Zufra in January. In March, he made 2 fights. He made 1 fight. He lined up the second one. He made the fight with Brandon, and he lined up the Noel fight. And once again, he's still trying to fight the winner of the cruiserweight bout this weekend. He is not pushing for David Benavidez. Once again, why haven't they reached out to David's team until David got mandated to fight Noel? Because that's who they was about to fight. They only reached out to David because David got the fight that they was about to get. So they wasn't reaching out to Ja Obertai team because they acknowledged that Jose Benavidez reached out to them for the past 2 weeks after the Zurdo fight. The reason they didn't reach back out to them because they was told that they need to talk to Samson, which they never reached out to Samson. So once again, how was Ja supposed to be making this fight with David Benavidez when they not reaching out to David Benavidez's team, when David Benavidez's team is the only team reaching out to him? How was he supposed to be making this fight? Y'all keep saying David don't want the fight, but David is the only one trying to make the fight. His team is the one pushing for the fight. Ja Obertai is looking elsewhere. He's lining up Noel. He's lining up the winner of the cruiserweight bout this weekend. When is David Benavidez going to get in there and be able to make a fight with Ja Obertai? Y'all want to keep saying, oh, David need to fight Ja Obertai. Ja Obertai needs to fight David. He's the one making other fights. He's the one that's trying to fight Noel. But Mauricio mandated David Benavidez to fight Noel. He's the one trying to fight the winner of the cruiserweight bout this weekend, not David. So when is David going to get the fight Jao Batai when Jao Batai is already lining up fights one after another before David can even get in there to make a fight with him? Y'all still haven't answered that question.
And I'll just say this. Again, what you hear with D3 is more deflection, more half truths. And I would just say inaccurate information. The thing is this. These people are out here on the internet to mislead people. Because if you think about it, what fight is he even talking about when we talk about the fight this weekend? I don't even know if no cruiserweight fight, they got no belts on the line this weekend. So, I mean, again, that's just crazy. But let me read a couple comments. My man, he said, D3 Benavidez Zurdo fight was announced in February. That was after Josh signed in January. That's a fact. He said D3 Jose Sr. said himself, what the F you talking about? Zurdo was supposed to fight what's that dude? Riziki before Benavidez. That's a fight. The Riziki fight did fall out of nowhere. He said Jose Sr. convinced Zurdo to cancel the Riziki tune-up, which is true because he did have shoulder surgery. That's right. Zurdo did have shoulder surgery. He was going to fight Riziki, and somehow Jose Benavidez convinced him to take the David Benavidez fight. That is a fact. I know that to be true. He said he has not defended the Zuffa belt against the winner of them, but that would be a fight after he whoops David's ass. Ja didn't care if DB fought. He came about undisputed. He never had the belt, so he going to fight whoever between DB and Zurdo. Because people forget, and D3 didn't mention this, that Samson Lipowitz is not even representing David Benavidez anymore. Samson Lipowitz went on a whole thing about how Al Heyman and David cut him off the deal when they decided a new deal to Turkey. So Free conveniently forgot that, bringing up Samson. Samson hasn't been with that team in almost 10 months. So again, that's what I mean when I say we get nothing but half truths. And like, I'm not going to say lies. I'm just saying we just don't get the truth. The truth is this. Why would I call Samson if Samson's not even part of the team? Jose Benavidez made a power play and got Samson out of the equation. Now he's acting as David Benavidez's manager, because for most of David Benavidez's career, Samson Lipowitz was his manager. But see, we forget that. Jose Benavidez is an attention whore who wants to try to get some attention. He's not who everybody thinks he is. But guess what? This is the caveat of it all. No matter what nobody say, if we ever see the fight, it won't be because of Ja Overtime. It won't be because of David Benavidez. It'll be because of Turkey. Turkey will make us get this fight. And I think the whole thing is this: all those guys that defend, David Benavidez, these are all Tank fans in disguise. These are the guys that follow Tank. So it's not even. That's how covert this thing is. Where cats want to find somebody new to hate. They want to hate Ja Overtime because Ja Overtime is a lot like Holyfield was when he came up. Everybody wants to duck him. But I'll say this before I move on. Please, y'all, make sure y'all watch, y'all listen to on this YouTube and this YouTube stuff, because I'm telling you, a lot of people are lying. A lot of people are lying. A lot of people are giving you half truths. Y'all see BVO bring up people like Bernard Hackett. I bring up Uncle Stitch. I bring up Ishe Smith. I bring up a lot of people who are knowledgeable about the game. And y'all see a lot of dudes just be talking out their ass. And that's just what it is. You know, they'll show you a clip of this or that. We don't need that because I'm giving you the truth. But let me ask you this, though, Free. What do you think about those shocking faults of calling Shakur Stevenson a female? What do you think about that?
Real quick, going back to SS, because he seemed to not remember anything. You don't forget when David Benavidez stopped Anthony Yarde, said the Zurdo fight is next. They had already made that fight. The reason it didn't get announced, because you don't really know much about boxing, so let me school you real quick. The reason it didn't get announced until February, because they don't announce fights until they get the whole card lined up. Once they get the card lined up, then they announce the fight. The fight was already made with David Benavidez and Zurdo back in November. They had to line the card up, get all the fighters that they're going to get on the card, and then they make an announcement. That's how fighting works in the sport of boxing. That's how the announcements come in the sport of boxing. Maybe you don't know that, so take note. But O'Shaquie Foster, Shakur got to fight him next. Shakur definitely got to fight him next. Shakur told him, if you beat my son, or he ain't say my son, but he said you beat Raymond Ford, then I will fight you next. O'Shaquie Foster went right in there and did that. He went in there, he beat Raymond Ford quite easily, like I figured he was going to do. I said it was going to be a competitive fight, and then O'Shaquie Foster was going to pull away late, and that's exactly how it happened. He got in the ring, made all this stuff, and he said, we can fight at 135, we can fight at 40. Shakur said, yeah, come up to 40. He said, bet, I'll come up to 40. And he said, y'all heard him. Everybody heard him. Everybody was listening. You said you'll fight him at 40. You have to make that fight next. Now, I don't know if he's going to make it next. I don't know if he's planning on maneuvering around O'Shaquie Foster. If he doesn't fight O'Shaquie Foster, I got to call it for what it is. He ducked him. Because you asked the man to fight Raymond Ford and you'll fight him next. He fought Raymond Ford, and then he supposed to be getting that fight next. He said, be free. So they made a fight in November, and Zurdo had surgery in December. Yes, they made a fight in November. Go back and watch the fight.
Oh, he had surgery, Freak. He had surgery in December.
So did you or did you not hear David Benavidez said, my next fight is Zurdo? After he fought Anthony Yarde in the ring.
I thought it was gonna be Rosicky. That's the thing, because he ended up doing something to his shoulder.
Did you or did you not hear David Benavidez said, I will be fighting Zurdo next on Cinco de Mayo after he beat Anthony Yarde in the ring? Did he or did he not say that?
He said that.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I don't know if that fight was made because the man had surgery on his shoulder in December.
No, the fight was already made. They don't announce the fight until they get the whole card together. They have to put everybody that's going to be on the card, the location where the card is going to be at, the time of the fight, the network is going to be fighting on. They do all that. That's when they come out with the big announcement. BVO, you've been watching these fights just as long as we've been knowing each other. You see, we do this every single week. We do this every single day. You already know. Don't sit here and try to act like you don't know. You know, just like I know. That man already had the fight made. Oscar was bragging about the fight. It was made. We're fighting David Benavidez next. So we're not going over to Zuffa. We're fighting David Benavidez next. That's what Oscar was saying. Oscar had.
I'm just saying the confusion is this, that he ended up messing his shoulder because before, I get what you're saying because that is true what happened. But before that, we heard that Rosicky was next. So what I'm trying to figure out is what happened with Rosicky. I thought he was the mandatory for the WBA.
If it was bad as that, I mean, like I said, the fight was already made. Zurdo fought in June. They made the fight in November. If y'all say he had surgery in December, obviously the surgery wasn't that bad because they fought in May. They fought May 2nd. He had January, February, March, April. Fought in May. 5 months later, after he had the surgery, he fought.
Yeah, I think though, I'm not disagreeing with what you said on that one. I agree with you. I just don't know what happened with the Rosicky fight because that's the fight we kept hearing.
Oscar got rid of that fight because he wanted the David Benavidez fight. It was a bigger money fight. Oscar got rid of that fight. Oscar is Zurdo's promoter. David don't have nothing to do with that. Oscar is Zurdo's promoter. Oscar made the fight with David Benavidez. David didn't make the fight with Zurdo. David was looking to wait for the winner of Bivol and Arthur. That's what he was doing. He was fighting Anthony Yarde in the meantime, and he was going to wait for the winner of Bivol and Bivol. I mean, Demetrius and Arthur. He was waiting for the winner of that. Oscar came to him with the Zurdo fight. That's why he took it, because that was another person that was on his list. He just wasn't planning on fighting this early. He thought he was going to get him after he fought those two guys. But Oscar came to him with that fight, and so he took it. I mean, all y'all got to do is look it up. It's common knowledge. All you got to do is go look it up.
He said that don't matter, free regardless. Did you hear him say he gonna get a tune-up before the Ja fight. Yeah, that was true. He said, bro, Jose himself said he told Zurdo to cancel the Riziki fight. He said, bro, go watch the whole city interview. Jose Senior. That's right. He did say that on there. He did say that on there.
BVO, stop it, BVO. You know
what am I doing?
You know damn well Jose Benavidez don't have no say so over Zurdo or Oscar De La Hoya. He can't tell.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay, so Oscar came to them with the fight. He didn't tell Zurdo to cancel the fight. And Zurdo's like, I'm gonna cancel my fight. No, Oscar came to them.
This is what I'm saying, Free. What I'm saying is a lot of people that keep up with the cruiserweight division know that Zurdo have been ducking Riziki. That's why it's coming. That's why I'm saying that. He's been ducking him. Zurdo's been ducking him.
That's on Zurdo. That ain't got nothing to do with David. Oscar came to David with the fight in November. Like I said, it's common knowledge. It's all over. All you gotta do is go look at the fight. He said it in the ring after the fight was over. Oscar said it before the fight was made when they was at the press conference. We're fighting Zurdo next. Remember, he was bragging about the Zurdo fight when they asked him about Virgil, and he said, me and Virgil going through our thing. He said, but we're working with the PBC. We got the Zurdo fight with David Benavidez. Y'all don't remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. That was at the press conference you're talking about, right?
Yeah, you gotta go back to that. That was in November. That was way before.
My whole thing is, this is my thing, Free. This is my only question. This is my question about it. What the hell happened to the Riziki fight? That is crazy because that dude had been waiting to get his hands on him. I wonder if they paid him.
I told you, Oscar got rid of the fight because he was going through the whole legal action with.
So he said he must have paid him some set-aside money then. Okay.
Whatever it was, he got rid of the fight because he was going through the whole legal fight with Ortiz. So he was trying to put another big fight on for the zone so he can get his renewal of his contract. Remember, they were saying we're not going to renew your contract until we see some big fights. He got rid of that fight to make the David Benavidez fight so he can get the renewal of his contract, so he can keep Virgil Ortiz on his stable. That was the whole thing. So y'all got to do something.
Shoot to my man, Seafood in the house, man. He said David scared ass left on the plane. He said Pussy Benavidez got your boy D3 in his pocket. Sad to see. Let me see.
I wish he had me in his pocket.
He said Riziki gonna knock out Chris BS. Riziki is another one been ducked for years. But love hate Zuffa model fixes this crap. Maybe.
Once again, it doesn't matter to me who wins the fight. I'm just telling y'all the man is not ducking him. I see one guy that's constantly making other fights. I see another guy that only had one fight at cruiserweight. Ja Overtime was not trying to make the fight with David Benavidez. He wanted the Noel fight. He had already made that fight.
I think he was trying to get undisputed, Free. I think that was the initial thought. He was trying to make undisputed.
Whether he was trying to get undisputed or not, y'all kept saying that why David ain't fighting Ja Overtime. Ja Overtime had a mandatory fight already lined up with Brandon. He made he was trying.
He didn't make that fight, Free. Dana didn't make that fight. He didn't make that fight.
It doesn't matter whether Dana made it or he made it. They made that fight in March before David Benavidez even fought Zurdo. That fight was already in the works. So, like I said, I have no problem if Ja beats David Benavidez. I have no problem if David beats Ja. What I'm saying is, there's one guy that's actually pushing for the fight. There's another guy that's lining up other fights. And I'm not saying Ja is scared of David Benavidez. I'm just saying he's not pushing for the fight. Y'all got it twisted. I believe both of these guys are great fighters. I don't know who's going to win the fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. But there's one guy that was actually reaching out to the other team when his fight was over, and they wasn't returning the call. They didn't return the call until the fight that they wanted got snatched from him because he got put into a mandatory. That's when they decided to call, because that fight got snatched from him and got put over to the other guy that was making a phone call to him. That's what y'all not getting. Y'all think, oh, David don't want to fight. David was trying to make the fight. They wasn't answering the call. They wasn't reaching out. What are you talking about?
I mean, you got some of the stuff you said makes some sense because I kind of got a better understanding where you're coming from now. But it's just like Max Kellerman said. Why would you want to fight the Ring Magazine champion? I'm going to read this comment real quick. He said, DB confirmed the Yarde fight, and he's running and ducking the Beterbiev smoke, and he fought Zurdo instead of fighting Beterbiev. You're right, Free. He said, yep, Oscar offered David Zurdo, and they took it because Beterbiev was ready and expected to fight with David, so that's why he abandoned the Zurdo fight around that time.
What?
I don't know. He said Noel is the only way to make the DB fight is only a bargaining chip. DB petitioned the fight, cuts the roadmap. You know what? I will say this. I think Mauricio did that to freeze Joe Bataille out. Now you might not agree with me on that. I think that's what he did.
Once again, I don't think it has nothing to do with Ja Obata. I think it's the whole Zuffa situation because Zuffa said they're not recognizing the sanctioned body. They only want to recognize the Zuffa belt and the Ring Magazine belt. They're not recognizing the other belt. So they're like, okay, well, we're not recognizing our belt. We're not sending none of our belts over there. So I think that's what it is. I don't think it has nothing to do with Ja Obata. We saw Richardson Hitchens, his belt got snatched. If what all of the reports is true, if Devin Haney goes over there, his belt going to get snatched. If Shakur goes over there, his belt going to get snatched. I don't think it has nothing to do with Ja Obata. I think it has to do with Zuffa. Everybody acting like it's Ja Obata. It has nothing to do with Ja Obata. He's a casualty of war because right now the sanctioning body has a war going on with Zuffa. And right now, he just happened to be a casualty of war because they're not sending none of their belts over there. They would let them fight on the ring card, but if they're going to fight on Zuffa, it ain't happening.
Let me run this by you, Free. So David, now this is from Mauricio Suleiman. David Benavidez is the 175-pound champion at light heavyweight, and he petitioned the WBC to give him the Noel fight. So the Noel fight came from him.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. So basically David Benavidez is playing politics. Okay, now that makes sense.
He petitioned for it because Ja Obata's not trying to fight him. So he's like, well, I'm going to go get the other belt. I'm going to go get the other. Ja not trying to fight me. He's trying to fight Noel. I'm going to go get the belt. What's wrong with that? Y'all wasn't mad when Ja Obata was about to fight Noel. Y'all mad now that David's about to fight him? I'm just asking. Oh, BVO. I'm just saying. Y'all wasn't mad when Noel was about to fight Ja Obata. Y'all mad now David is fighting him?
No, can you hear me? No, what I'm saying is that David Benavidez is a real life scumbag. So he petitioned the WBC at light heavyweight to make Noel the mandatory.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way, BVO. You want to fight with a guy. You want to fight with a guy. Y'all were both champions. Ja Obata was a champion. David Benavidez is a unified champion. You want to fight with a guy. The guy is making fights for everybody else except for you. He's trying to fight another champion, but he's not making a fight with you. When your team has been reaching out to his team and they ain't been answering the call, why not go snatch that belt if you can? Make him come to you. Now you're going to have to come see me. You don't have the IBF. You're not getting that belt back. I get the WBC. Now I got 3 belts. You're going to have to come to me. One way or another, you're going to have to come to me. David already said, we can make the fight. I'm not going to Zuffa. You're going to have to come over here. We can make the fight. You're just going to have to come over here. So
but that's not messed up, Free. That's not messed up.
No, it's called chess, not checkers. I'm putting you where your king is going to be in checkmate. You're going to have to come see me. I'm putting your king in checkmate. I'm making my move. Pretty soon, you ain't going to have but a couple of moves left. You're going to be in checkmate. Checkmate, now you got to see me. He's going to check, not checkers.
I can't lie, Free. And that's why I love this guy, Free, man. He said, checkmate.
You're going to have to come see me.
Dang, that's wild. I didn't even realize David did that. He said, yeah, Suleiman basically pulling the strings, making it political. It means Jock can fight Noel McCallion, Mickey Mouse, but won't get a belt for it. Either way, Jock loses, but Beterbiev said what he said.
Yeah, he did. Like I said, Beterbiev, I like Beterbiev. He's a hell of a fighter. He's one of the guys that I like to watch because I know he's going to bring it every time he gets in the ring. I pick him to beat a lot of guys at light heavyweight. But at the same token, Beterbiev had a fight. He pulled out of the fight. So if you got a fight as a co-main on my card, you're a co-main on my card. You got a fight, and then you pulled out. We already had the Zurdo fight lined up before we had this fight. We already had that fight lined up. So how was David ducking Arthur when Arthur was supposed to fight the same day that David was supposed to fight, and David already had another fight lined up because Oscar wanted to make the Zurdo fight? How was David ducking Arthur? Like I said, Arthur can think whatever he wants to think. That's his prerogative. But the facts of the matter is, you had a fight. I had a fight. We was fighting the same day. You pulled out of your fight. I fought my fight. I already had another fight lined up for 2 belts at cruiserweight. One of the other guys that I said I wanted to fight. So he said, yeah, checkmate, 3 belts, and no going back to 75. No, I think he is going back to 75. He's going to fight Bivol. He's going to fight Arthur. He said
he's vacating that WBC belt, Free.
No, he did. No, he did not. No, he did not.
That's what you do when you mandate a fight. That means you're gonna vacate.
No. He did not vacate the belt. What are you talking about? No,
he using the belt for the smaller weight class to be the number one mandatory.
That's not how it works. That's how I look from what they're saying on the WBC.com. That's not how it works. What they said is he's a WBC champion at light heavyweight. He's also the unified champion at cruiserweight. He petitioned to fight the cruiserweight WBC champion. He's still the champion at light heavyweight. He will still have that belt. If he loses at cruiserweight, he still got his light heavyweight belt. He lost his cruiserweight belt, but he still have his light heavyweight belt. If he wins, he will have a light heavyweight WBC belt, and he will have 3 cruiserweight belts. He doesn't lose any of those belts.
Oh, okay. I thought he lost the belt when he did that. Okay. Well, my mistake. See my man Uncle Cash. Go ahead.
What's going on, Cash? And he said at the end of the Zurdo fight, he said, I'm gonna defend my titles at both weight classes. Whether he does that or not, I don't know. All I can do is take him as his word. He hasn't lied yet. He fought everybody he said he was gonna fight. Until he doesn't fight somebody that he said he was gonna fight, I can't say the man lied. He either trying to fight him or he has fought him. And you said this man hasn't fought anybody. No, David Benavidez, he hasn't fought nobody. But you was the one that said David Benavidez need to fight Cater Plant. David Benavidez need to fight Bubu Andrade. David Benavidez need to fight David Morrell. He fought all those guys and he beat them. But he hasn't fought anybody. But those are the guys that you say he need to fight.
I mean, he got some more work to do. He said, from what I heard, David is saying he wants to unify and be undisputed versus undefeated versus Bibble May 2027. So he will get the WC either way by fighting or not. Then he needs to sanction for the vacant IBF. He said at this point, what does the corrupt WBC strip Benavidez of his 175, or is it just favoritism? The WBC and Uncle Cash should do a show on this one day. The WBC is let me say this. The WBC is corrupt because the WBC belt is almost for sale. Because it makes no sense. Why in the world why would they just give David Benavidez a chance at Noel's belt if he already had a fight with Joe Obata. It looked like Joe Obata was trying to have a fight when they did fight for undisputed. Because if he would have had the IBF and they had the WBC, that would have been undisputed right away for all five belts.
Because they don't want the belts to go to Zuffa, because Dana White already said he does not recognize those belts. He doesn't recognize those belts. So if you don't recognize the belts, you're not going to follow by those sanctioning bodies. You're not going to follow by their rules. So once again, it has nothing to do with David Benavidez, Ja Obata, anything like that. It has to do with Zuffa. David Benavidez won't be stripped of the WBC belt because he was the mandatory, and Ja Obata, Demetrius Bivol dropped the belt for his mandatory, which was David Benavidez. So he doesn't have a mandatory coming up until next year. Well, later on this year, actually. It will be later on this year he will have a mandatory at light heavyweight. So right now, he doesn't have a mandatory. Once the mandatory is called, we'll see if he's going to defend that belt, which I believe he will, because he said he wants to defend in both weight classes. So as long as the man can defend in both weight classes, they're not going to strip him of the belt because he's defending in both weight classes.
I would not to interrupt you, Free. I would say this. I would love Uncle Cash to really do a show on these belt rules, because I sure as hell thought I knew them. Because I actually read the handbook. I thought when you use your belt, you vacate it when you go to the bigger weight class. So I don't know. Maybe I heard that wrong, but I remember that in the WBA. I don't know if that's the same under WBC. No, the WBO better yet. No, so I guess the WBC and the WBO got different rules. So that's what I was saying.
I mean, for the most part, they do have different rules, but a lot of their rules are similar. But no, a lot of times when a guy moves up, they vacate the belt because they move up. They don't plan on coming back down. But if a guy is planning on standing at that weight class, they don't vacate the belt. Remember, Tank Davis had a belt in 3 different weight classes. He had the WBA belt at 40.
Oh, you're talking about the regular belts? Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's the belt. He had the championship belt, WBA championship belt. He had it at 140. He had it at 135, and he had the WBA at 130. He had it in all 3 weight classes. They said you're gonna have to pick one because you got it in 3 different weight classes. You're gonna have to pick which one you want to defend. He said, "I'm gonna stay at 35."
Yeah, my man Juan is he on that bath salt again. He said he being a real fool ass Earthman today. He said we'll either need to vacate a 75 or 200-pound belt. You can't hold both belts and you can't hold belts in both weight classes. They will give him an ultimatum.
That's not true.
He said free. I'll put 100 on it, and I ain't backing down.
No, that's not true.
I put like this. No matter how it goes, what you guys are seeing from my brother Free is just what you're getting across the internet, where guys are just defend David Benavidez blindly. I mean, he's doing some crazy business, and no one's speaking about it. And the thing that's so crazy about it is this, man. We could talk about a lot of things, but we need likes. We need hypes for the video. We need you guys to support the channel. Y'all make sure y'all put some color in the chat, because at the end of the day, we can talk about this all day, but we can't do this if you guys don't help the channel grow. We need you guys to help the channel grow. We need some members, so definitely join up. BVO Sports TV is working hard. Puerto Rican Free's working hard. You see, he got the smile on his face. We're having a lot of fun. He said,
said you hate your own race.
Yeah, you would say something. You would read something like that. See, that's some stuff again.
Hey, you want to only read. You want to only
what I'm gonna do?
On job positive chat. Anytime somebody say something positive about that, that's pickable, and I ain't reading more of that. And then you'll move on to the next one. So
here we go.
I'm gonna read the ones that you won't read.
I'm gonna do this. We're gonna snatch Juan's wrench. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna snatch Juan's wrench. Y'all, when y'all see Juan in the chat, y'all 86 is Puerto Rican ass. We snatched this wrench. You don't come here talking crazy. He said Juan got me weak. Yeah, that's Juan. I mean, that's a man who cooking food all day. You can't worry about him. He said, I can't believe Free actually believes that DB wants to fight Ja. DB going to manipulate his fans to believe he's the monster, and he says he is even when his actions don't match. The thing that's so crazy about it is this. What you're getting really, and this is what a lot of people understand, is you're getting a guy in David Benavidez who's spreading propaganda. And that's what it is. And I think his fans have fallen for it because that's what they want to believe. That's what they want to believe. And it's sad. It's sad because us boxing fans, us true boxing fans, just want to see the best fight the best. Same thing, we got Shakur Stevenson talking all this crazy stuff. He said this guy Free is delusional. He making excuses for Benavidez when they the one doing all the talking, why they never want to fight Ja. I don't know why they don't want to fight Ja, man. Hey,
man reached out to Ja. John ain't reach out to him.
Somebody put Juan's Puerto Rican ass in timeout. I want the doghouse to punish Juan. He talking so crazy. I want one of y'all to punish him. Y'all got the right now. 86 is Puerto Rican tail.
Hate on my man Juan.
So
hate on my man Juan.
Anybody, you got a wrench. If you got a wrench, you support BVO Sports TV. Y'all hit Juan with 4 of them.
Can y'all tell me why Ja hasn't reached out to David Benavidez team? Can y'all tell me that? Because y'all want me to look at both sides, but y'all not even understanding the fact that Jose been reaching out to them. They haven't been reaching out to David. But y'all want me to look at both. Oh, you gotta look at both sides. Like I said, when David petitioned for the WBC and they granted the mandatory that Noel has to fight David Benavidez or be stripped, he's playing chess, not checkers. You're going to have to come see David Benavidez. David Benavidez is trying to make the fight. Ja Overtime is the only one that keep putting fights in front of David Benavidez. He got the Noel, he got the Brandon fight. That's fine. That was a mandatory. I can't say nothing about that. But then he got the Noel fight before he even did the Brandon fight. He had already lined up the Noel fight. Now he's talking about fighting the winner of the cruiserweight bout this weekend. When is David going to get an opportunity to fight Ja? Y'all keep saying, oh, David don't want to fight Ja. Ja is putting fights in front of David. I don't see David putting fights in front of Ja.
And you know, when my brother Free does this is what I always say, man.
Got to know exactly who you are. Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
Stay focused, brothers, because that's just a ploy. That's just a ploy. See to my brother Cam J. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Cam J. Make sure y'all subscribe to my man Uncle Cash as well. But I'm going to say this. No matter how it goes, I mean, we keep showing facts of how Jose Benavidez went on Host City and was talking crazy and he said this and that. But the only person who keeps talking bad about Ja is Jose Benavidez. And we heard from El Rayo. El Rayo said it best. Jose Benavidez is a piece of garbage. That's exactly what El Rayo said. So now we're going to show a guy who's known as being a piece of garbage? Come on, man. Hey, Marky, man, hit that boy Juan with a wrench.
Hold on. You said we now supposed to listen to Jose Benavidez, but you listen to other people's fathers all the time, and we know that they don't know what they be talking about.
Like who?
T.O. father, Devin's
Hold on,
father.
we don't bring up that coward T on here. We don't bring up that coward.
Devin's father.
Isn't Billy the manager with his lying ass? That's what Bill do. That's what Bill do. What you want me to tell you, Free?
But you listen to Bill though. You listen to Bill. When Bill
me and you both know Bill be lying.
But when Bill say something you like, you run with it. Oh, see, Bill said that. Bill said that. Hey, you got to get into it. Bill did say this though, dog. Bill,
here you go.
Run with it. What I do is say I gotta find other to support what Bill is saying because I can't believe what Bill's saying because I know he stretched the truth a lot. I gotta find somebody else that supports that I find credible. I gotta find somebody else.
Hey, so to my brother,
They're
Since
not
my
gonna
brother, since my man Crody cried, hey, I'm gonna say this, yo, man, y'all smash the like button because we need one thing before David Benavidez might need a couple things, Ja may need a couple things, but I need likes, I need hypes. We need you guys, man. Let's put some color in the chat to help the channel grow. I'm gonna say this: the thing that's so funny about my brother Free, and I love Free. This is my guy. This is my co-host. I think Free really got some against Ja Obata because he's from Australia.
No, I keep
That's
trying
what
to
it
tell you,
is.
it
It
has
makes
nothing to do.
sense.
No, I keep trying to tell you it has nothing to do with Ja Obata. He's a casualty of war. The sanctioning
So
bodies
it's a
that
war now, or is it
no,
boxing?
it's a war between the sanctioning bodies and Zuffa. I don't understand why y'all don't see it. The
What did he
sanctioning
say?
body, the sanctioning
Go ahead.
bodies has something against Zuffa because Zuffa, well, not gonna say Zuffa, Dana White said he does not recognize the sanctioning body. He only recognizes the ring and the Zuffa belt. He doesn't recognize the sanctioning body. So they said, okay, well, since you don't recognize our sanctioning body, you can't have none of our belts. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with Ja. But y'all keep acting like David is ducking Ja, and I'm just pointing out Ja is making fights with other guys outside of David. That's all I'm doing. I'm just pointing out that he's making fights with other guys outside of David, but y'all keep saying David is the one ducking him.
This is the thing. my man Irony Boxer said it best. I think you got to give Ja Obata his credit because he's been consistent. And you got to think it's been nothing but people trying to tear Ja Obata down. And it's weird because when the hell did David Benavidez become so popular?
No,
That's my question.
Ain't nobody.
When the hell did Benavidez become so popular, man? And you know the sad
When
thing?
Mike Tyson called him the Mexican monster, that's when.
David Benavidez has been growing his fan base slowly but surely by going in the ring and stopping guys and beating guys up. He's been growing his fan base slowly but surely. I admit, David ain't always been the most liked guy in the sport of boxing, but because he go in there and he puts on a show every single time he goes in there, yeah, they starting to like David Benavidez a lot more because they say, hey, this dude coming in, he fighting and he beating up everybody he's getting in the ring with. It doesn't matter if they're cruiserweight, light heavyweight, 168 pounds, he's beating everybody up. They like that. So that's why his fan base is growing. But it's not nobody's putting Ja down. Y'all putting David down. And so I'm just bringing up the facts of what's going on. You're the one saying David is a pussycat. He's ducking Ja Obata. He don't want no smoke. You're the one saying that.
Hold on. We got my brother in the house, Ohio's own. He from my city, Cincinnati. Shout out to the West Side, my second home. We got my man Cam calling Ja Obata radio. Ja Obata, the dumbest fighter in boxing currently.
Hey,
now you know. Hold on. Let me say this. So now we going so low till we making fun of a man that was mentally disabled. That's funny. Hold on. We making fun of a guy who was mentally disabled, who helped the football team. I mean, this is nuts.
Are you saying Ja Obata is mentally disabled?
No, I'm talking about calling him radio. That's crazy. That's diabolical in my Claymore voice. That's diabolical. I never realized that Cam said that. That's diabolical. That's diabolical, brother.
But calling him radio, that's instead of him calling him something else, he chooses to use the word radio because we're on YouTube. We can't speak as freely as we want to.
But that's crazy, radio. Free.
He could say something else. He could say something else.
Wow, Free. You got no heart, man. Free has no heart.
All I'm saying is he's using a word so it doesn't sound as bad because we're on YouTube. He could say something else. And you know what I'm about the other R word.
Don't say it here. Don't say it here.
That's why I said the other R word. Instead of saying radio, he could use the other R word. So he's using radio because we're on YouTube.
That's like saying, well, at least he beat him up. At least he didn't shoot him free. I mean, I don't think that's better.
Hey, don't say the S word, man. Come on, bro. You're going too far. But let me do this real quick before I want to bring Mark in this conversation. And we got one of the biggest, we call him Chauncey, aka our favorite fry cook, Juan Claudio, in here. Juan, so let me ask you this. Now we know you're a David
Frying
sexual.
them green bananas.
What have you been going? Why have you been going so hard against Ja Obata? Because of his Samoan descent. Your background is outrageous, man. Come back on your background. Get your background together real quick.
My fault.
Real quick. SS, I've never said anything bad about Ja Obata or David Benavidez. I never said anything bad about neither one of them. So you want me to say something bad about David? Never said anything bad about Ja. So why would I say anything bad about David?
So
I like both of them.
So my thing is this. My biggest thing with I don't hate Ja. Don't hate Ja. Definitely don't hate Ja. My thing is this. You guys putting this man on a hype train, right? You fought a Breedis that's really wasn't really Breedis anymore. But again,
Cap.
right. Fine, no, fine. I'll give you the little win. I'll give you the win. I'll give you the little win, right? After that, right? They meet somebody else that he fought. That's actually kind of nice. I'm waiting. Go ahead.
That's it. I told you he only fought one guy.
So what makes you think that somebody that you sat there and said, well, he's got to fight Clint, he's got to fight Boo Boo, he's got to fight Darrell, he's got to fight these guys, mind you, swept all them guys. You sit there and say, well, he still ain't proved nothing. What else you got to prove for it, right? You was doing that with Canelo. No, you were doing that with Canelo. I remember vividly because y'all were all doing it. You were all doing it. The only one that was going in against it was Free. You was all doing it. So you can't be sitting here saying, oh, well, it's different. No, it's not different. You're doing it now.
I said it's the same. But you see how listen. Hold on. You're a bad faith actor and you want to mislead the people. I said what Canelo what Canelo did was wrong. I said that was wrong. I said Canelo was ducking. I said Canelo should have fought him and he didn't. Canelo, everything y'all hated about Canelo, guess what? Your poor sweet David is doing. Everything y'all say y'all hated about Canelo, David's doing it.
How's he ducking?
He got both the belts. What are you talking about, bro?
He just got to the weight. How hold on, bro.
No, the man literally fought hold on. 4 days
and I'm gonna
ago.
tell you this. I'm gonna tell you that. And you know the funny thing about you, if Ja Obata was Puerto Rican, you would have a whole different perspective on this because we know how you go.
I don't think
we know how you get down.
I don't think y'all realize that David Benavidez just fought a month and 4 days ago. And y'all said this man is ducking when he didn't even have a fight lined up until they mandated. He petitioned to be mandated. He didn't even have a fight lined up. Ja was the one that had fights lined up and was talking about fighting the winner of the cruiserweight bout this weekend. David didn't have anything.
Let me say, hold on. Let me say, because he keeps saying this cruiserweight bout this weekend, but can't tell us no names. Let me just say this. I think I love what my brother Cam is doing. I think it's pretty funny. But you know what? It just goes back to what I always say. Hold on, somebody's background, yo. Come on, we a professional show, man. We gotta be better than that. I'll just say this. We gotta be honest here. Ja Obata had no choice. So if you have no choice, a lot of us, like I said, the problem is on YouTube, we got a lot of guys that's not from the ghetto. If you don't have a choice, you think I wanted to go to Bowling Green? No, that was my only choice. So I think people got to understand when you got a choice, you got to do what's best for you and your family. And I feel like Ja did just that.
Hold on. So SM99, first of all, right? He didn't even make the play for the third belt. Again, if you don't know what's going on, again, the corrupt WBC made him make a play for the WBC belt. That's on them. That's what they want to do. If that's what they doing, cool. You leave that on that end. Secondly, right? He just got to the belt. Name me another time to the damn weight. Name me another time he fought at cruiserweight. Go ahead, I'm waiting. Somebody, please, somebody.
He got both the belts. Why are you trying to protect him? He's a big boy.
I'm not protecting.
Why are you trying to have him sit on your lap?
I'm not protecting nobody. I'm not protecting
nobody.
Get
him off your lap. Get him off your lap, Juan.
Listen, no, we're not protecting nobody. But you know what the fact is that you do this every single time. You did it with Ryan. He got smoked. He did it with
3 years ago. And you know, and it's funny. You forgot when I support. Hold on, you forgot when I support. Hold on, when I supported Devin Haney. When I supported Devin Haney. He lost to Terrence Crawford. Ain't no shame in that. What are you talking about?
You were sitting there saying, "Oh, he was gonna get knocked out. He was gonna get knocked out." Was he not free?
Hold on, you never got no fights wrong. You never got no fights wrong. You never got no fights wrong.
No.
I'm not going. Let me tell you this one. Let me give you some news. Let me give you some news, one. I'm not gonna get everything right. I'm not gonna get
brother.
everything right. I'm
Brother,
human.
you got a
It's
losing
just
record up here, man. Come on,
it's
what
just
we talking about?
it's just like
You
when
like the
somebody
you
order a
like the
sandwich
Browns out here,
and you
man.
give
Come
them
on, player.
and you give them the wrong sandwich. I don't say, oh, Juan can't cook now because he gave people the wrong
No.
sandwich.
No.
I said he made a mistake. He made a
No. It's
mistake.
checkmate. I checkmated you because
You can't
do this
checkmate
every
me.
single time. I checkmated you. You do this
You
every
can't
single
checkmate
time, bro.
nothing.
Yes,
The
I
fact is
did,
this.
bro.
This is
I
the
hit
fact.
you
This is
with
the
facts,
fact.
bro. We
You
can go back to
you
these lives
only
and we
root
can
for
sit
Puerto
here and say
Rican
this.
fighters.
No,
We know how you
what?
get down.
I'm the only.
You only root for
What?
Puerto Rican fighters.
What?
You only
Free.
root for
Hold
Puerto
on,
Rican
Marky.
fighters.
Do I
That's
only
all
root
you
for
have
Puerto
ever
Rican fighters,
done.
Marky? Marky,
That's all you have
be
ever
honest,
done.
Marky. Do I only
That's
root
how
for?
you all you ever done. That's it.
Do I do that?
No, but I know BVO
Shakur
mainly roots for the
Shakur's
Mexicans. You
Mhm.
mainly
Shakur's
root
the
for
greatest thing
Latinos.
spoken because he's Puerto Rican now.
That's why we call him BVO Sanchez because he always
When have I
did it.
ever
No,
rooted for a
he did it
Mexican
with
fighter?
he did it with
Canelo
Tio.
Alvarez.
That's
He
one
did it
of my
with
favorite
Tio.
fighters of all
There
time.
you
He did it
go.
with Tio.
Exactly.
He did it with Tio.
Who?
He did it with Ryan. He did it with Canelo. Shoot, I'm
Hold
surprised
on.
he's
We
not doing
see.
it with
And
no
listen,
way.
see.
I'm surprised.
And
Emiliano,
since
We don't call him ting
Emiliano.
ting 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 ting. I'm surprised we're not
Ryan
calling him
got
that right now.
remember Ryan Garcia was supposed
hold
to
on.
be
This
the
is what we
next
gonna
Sugar
do.
Ray Leonard.
No, I never said that. Somebody said
You
that in the chat.
said
But
that.
I'm gonna say
You
this. Well,
You
let
fucking
me do
said
this.
that,
quoted
Let me
that.
dog.
hold on.
You
You
Hold on.
said
Hold
multiple
on.
that.
Let me do
times.
this.
You said
Let
that,
me do
big
this. Let
dog.
me do this. Let me do this. Cause I see I want to glaze. I see I want to try to hop on the man of God. That's what we're gonna do. Let's get back to this. He said Turkey offered Benavidez more money than he's been offered. The only man putting on super fights, and guess what? Benavidez said no. See, they
What
forget
fight?
the facts.
What fight? What
That's
fight?
the
What
thing.
fight?
For what fight?
I'm
For
waiting for
what
this.
fight?
This is
Hold,
stupid. These guys, they all sit here and lie on the internet.
hold up.
They
For what
The
fight?
commission.
Did he offer
these
him
guys
more
be
money? He
lying.
said no. For what fight? For what fight? Name the fight that he offered him more money for, and he said no. Name the fight.
The thing
I
that's
bet you-
crazy is
I
this,
bet
They
man.
be
you
pickle
can't.
Y'all
pulling, Josh.
glazing.
I'm trying to tell
Y'all
you, these dudes
glazing.
be pickle
Y'all
pulling up here.
glazing.
Now
Y'all
you be
glazing.
pickle pulling, bro.
Where
You
you
be
get
really
pickle pulling
pulling.
from? You talking
You
like
really be
BVO
pickle
now?
pulling, brother. No,
Who
you
said
do,
B,
brother.
who said pickle?
You do.
Who said
Me,
that?
I said it. You really be pickle pulling, bro. You really do, bro.
And
I
you
swear to
only
you.
pick fighters that's Puerto Rican. You only pick fighters that's Puerto Rican. That's all you ever done.
No,
That's all you ever done.
No, I have never done that.
That's all you have done.
Stop
That's
it.
all you have
Stop
done.
it.
If a
Stop
dude
it.
ain't Puerto Rican, you're not going
Stop
for
it.
him. But
Stop
hold
it.
on, this is
Stop
good.
it.
Hold on. We're not gonna argue because it don't sound good on here.
No, we're not.
But I'll say this. But that's what I'll tell you. That's what I'll tell you. Juan is my guy. I don't want y'all to think we serious. We know Juan is Puerto Rican or nothing. We know how he goes. The man was going crazy when Shakur announced that he was Puerto Rican.
How?
So we see, bro. You did a whole video. You was dancing about it. You had Daddy Yankee on and all that, bro. You can't do this with me. I seen the video. We seen the video. We seen the
This
video,
man
bro.
said he had Daddy
I
Yankee.
just want to know
That's
the
crazy.
fight that Turkey offered David Benavidez more money that he turned down. What fight was that he offered? Because last time I checked, David Benavidez hasn't turned down any fight that Turkey offered him.
He said, "Wait, you claim we lying? It was on Boxing Scene. That is the truth. That see the thing that with the David Benavidez. This is the thing. The David Benavidez fans, what they do, they like to come up with these narratives. Just like you seen Juan get upset with me, Free get upset with me, because they are emotionally invested in pushing this narrative to freeze Jaw Batai out. That's what it is, and I think it's sad.
Hold on. So when he gets put to sleep, mind you, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna go past 7. When he gets put to sleep.
How much money you got on that? I got 100 on that. No, I got 100 on that. I got 100 on that.
I want to see push-ups.
I got 100 on it. I got 100 on it. No, I got $100 on it.
No, forget all that money. I want to see push-ups. Because when he stops him, and then mind you, I'm gonna tell you, when he stops him, and he gets stopped, because this is gonna happen. He's gonna get stopped to the body. He gonna cry.
The main thing I'm seeing is this is a quote from Benavidez. He turned down a fight at Alcatraz that Turkey was offering him because he didn't want to fight at that gimmicky location. Now that was his reasoning. I don't know. I'm trying to look into who the fighter was that was offered, but there you go. That's a Turkey offer that was turned down.
That was in China.
Like I said, what fight? Because last time I checked, he took every fight Turkey gave him. I didn't say that was false. I said what fight.
Let me see.
And you know, and
I'm
see
looking
Cody
at-
Cry. I think the thing that's so sad about this whole thing, because we can talk about everything else, but
He didn't turn down the Ja
hold on, let
overtime
me say
fight
this real quick.
because they never reached out to him.
Let me say this. We still talking about Samson Litowitz. He ain't even working with David anymore. That's what I mean when I say these guys. And I've seen
Ain't he
this.
with Louis
I
DeCouba?
seen this with Arrow.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't work with Samson at all. Look it up.
Yes, he does.
At all. No, he does not.
Isn't he with Louis DeCouba?
No,
He's with Louis now.
No, he's still with
Samson's not with him at all. Samson's not with him at all.
No, he has one more fight under Samson. Once he finished that fight, then he will be done. He has one more fight with Samson. He still has one
That's
fight
not
left.
true. Jose got on Jose got on Whole City and said that that's not true.
No, I'm telling you what they
So
just
you know more
said.
than Jose Benavidez. Jose Benavidez said different.
But
I'm not saying what I said. I'm telling you what Jose said.
Y'all hear that, right? Because he just told me not to believe Jose Benavidez, but now he said
Here we go. Here we go. You see the game that they do. You see what they do, man.
Now he can't believe Jose Benavidez, but he told me not to believe Jose Benavidez.
Hey, Free not gonna read no article, man. Free not gonna read no article, y'all. He not gonna read no article because he don't want to know the truth.
No, you said read an article. What article?
Unboxing scene.
And all I said was I never said that it was false. What I said was last time I checked, he took every fight Turkey offered him. I said what fight? Never said it was false. Y'all gotta listen. Don't listen to talk. Listen to hear.
He said, "Do you think David walks Ja down? David will start backing up once he feels Ja's power. You're crazy to think otherwise." I mean, we all know that Ja's gonna stop. We all know that Ja's gonna stop Benavidez. So I mean, it's not even like a question. I mean, he's never been in nobody that's his size. It's a lot like how it was when Devin Haney before he fought Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney was beating up little guys, but when he got in there with somebody his size, he got his ass kicked. I know everybody want to bring up the PEDs, which I think has something to do with it. But I'll say this. Guys look good when they fighting smaller men. And that's the exact thing that you've seen with David Benavidez. He looks good fighting smaller guys. I mean, when he fought Vosnik, that was a really good fight. That was a really good fight when he fought Vosnik because Vosnik was his size. I think if Ja gets in there with him, I think he'll hurt him. To me, let's be real. Zurdo was as slow as Christmas. That's an easy fight. That's an easy fight for a guy like for a guy like David Benavidez. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. We're not gonna sit here and glaze like everybody want to do because, like I said, a lot of guys are emotionally invested in pushing narratives. That's what they do. They get up on YouTube and they type all day and night to push narratives. At the end of the day, that's what happens. He said Ja had 2 fights in place. Then he came to revisit the David Benavidez fight coming from my sources. Commissioner, you're absolutely right. He had the fight with Brandon Glant that he was forced to have. Then he wanted to fight Noel McCallion. And then from there, he would have had 2 belts, and they would have had undisputed. So that's kind of what happened in that case. But I'll say this, because we've been we really haven't got to the gist of this whole thing is this. No matter what happens, David Benavidez has exposed himself to be a duck. And anybody that say something different, we kind of know where you stand on that. But let me ask you guys this. Do you guys think that when David Benavidez is hurting his legacy, what would you guys say?
No, because y'all said legacy is about collecting belts. So how him collecting belts is hurting his legacy? That's what y'all always told me. Y'all told me the belts matter. So him collecting the belts, how is that hurting his legacy?
Him not collecting the belts?
No. Him collecting the belts. Y'all told me belts matter. So him collecting the belts, if he's collecting the belts, how is he hurting his legacy?
Well, why won't he fight the Ring Magazine champion?
You're not going to answer the question. You want to ask me another question?
Well, that's a lot of people's criteria, Free. But Lennox Lewis, he collected all the belts and he didn't fight Riddick Bowe. Now people don't hold that against him because they think Riddick Bowe was the one, or Riddick Bowe's manager was the impediment to the fight.
Okay,
but Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis not fighting, that's a negative part of their legacy.
No, it's not.
If Dio Pataya is there, well, let me finish what I'm saying. For you ask,
let me finish, Free.
If Dio Pataya is there, and Benavidez becomes undisputed, and he don't get the Ring Magazine title, and Jai Opetaia is there, people are gonna bring that up, and it's gonna be a conversation about who ducked who till forever and ever, amen.
Okay, Mark.
And that's just gonna be a fact of their legacy.
Mark, stop.
Speaking facts.
You just
That's
keep talking.
facts.
No, you just keep talking.
He's
But
speaking facts.
once again, it does not hurt Lennox Lewis' legacy because what you said was everybody believed that Riddick Bowe ducked the fight, and Riddick Bowe did duck the fight. He said he wasn't fighting Lennox Lewis because they wanted him to get paid 50-50. He threw the belt in the trash. That has nothing to do with Lennox Lewis. That has more to do with Riddick Bowe.
But you're gonna have guys like BVO.
It hurt Riddick Bowe's legacy. Doesn't hurt Lennox Lewis' legacy. You used it on the wrong person. If you would said Riddick Bowe, then that would be different. But you said Lennox Lewis. It doesn't hurt Lennox Lewis' legacy.
Well, my point was Lennox Lewis picked up all the belts. Well, you know what? Riddick Bowe also was undisputed. So you're correct.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, it was not a perfect example. I'll give you that. But my point is, you'll have guys like BVO and others who will continue to push the narrative or the truth, however you look at it, that David Benavidez did not fight Jai Opetaia because he was scared if he does not, in fact, fight Jai Opetaia in his career. And that's just going to be the facts.
But once again, like I said, how do you get around the fact that Jai Opetaia's team said they have never reached out to David Benavidez, and they acknowledge that Jose Benavidez has been reaching out to them since he had finished the Zurdo fight. He's been trying to get in touch with them. They haven't reached out to them until they got the fight mandated for him to fight Noel. That's what that's what Jai Opetaia's team said. That's not what David Benavidez's team said. That's what Jai Opetaia's team said. They acknowledged that Jose's been trying to reach out to them. They never reached out to David Benavidez and his team until that fight got mandated. The fight that they was trying to have got mandated to David Benavidez. That's when they decided to reach out to David Benavidez.
Let me read this comment real quick, and I'm gonna pick it right back up at you, Mark. He says Zurdo moving like Santa Claus after he finished delivering the presents, so we have to revisit it. He said Ja is a real boxing guy, scary dude. They cherry picked DB career very wisely. He ain't fought anybody in any division he's been in. That's a fact. He said been doing a lot of deflecting, answering actual questions. Paper champion. I agree with that. David Benavidez is a paper champion. Doesn't mean Ja don't turn Glenn back and boo for a week after they fought. Just because he didn't stop him didn't mean he didn't whoop him. I mean, I thought they should have stopped that fight. I mean, my brother B3 was up here screaming, "Stop the fight!" He sounded like the dude on Rocky. Call it, throw on the towel. That should have been a fight. He said, free ducking the article like DB ducking Jai Opetaia. That's a fact.
Right now. And once again, I just answered the question. Why have they, Jai Opetaia team said they did not reach out to David Benavidez until the fight got mandated for David Benavidez. The fight for Noel got mandated to David Benavidez. Then they reached out to him. That's what his team said. Y'all can look at the article all you want. His team acknowledged that they didn't reach out to them.
Let me ask you a question, Free. Has David Benavidez ever fought the best fighter in any division he's been in?
Have David Benavidez fought the best fighter?
In any division that he's been in, all three divisions he's been in, has he ever fought the best fighter even one time?
No, because I think at 68, he was the best fighter, and the second best fighter wouldn't fight him. 160, he wasn't there longer. I mean, at 68, he was the best fighter.
He didn't
70,
fight at 60.
I mean, I said 68, he was the best fighter. The second best fighter wouldn't fight him. At 75, the guy that was quote unquote considered the man because he beat Arthur, he dropped his belt when David was the mandatory. So he avoided David Benavidez because he, quote unquote, wanted to have a third fight with Arthur, even though he had a mandatory fight that he fought last weekend. Where that could have been David Benavidez instead of Michael Eifel. That could have been David Benavidez. But nevertheless, so no, he didn't fight that guy. Now this guy at cruiserweight, this guy is lining up other fights instead of making a fight for David Benavidez.
And you see how Free is my brother, and I love him.
And
y'all see how
He just got to the weight class. He just got the cruiserweight. He just a month and 4 days ago.
And y'all see my brother Free, and I love Free. Y'all see how he couldn't just answer yes or no? He had to give us excuses on why he hasn't fought the best in the divisions. The answer is no. He's never fought the best in the division ever.
I'm not going to just say, oh no, he hasn't fought the best guy, because that's what y'all do. Y'all don't look at all of the facts. Y'all just look at what seems to look to y'all. Y'all just look at that. Y'all say, oh yeah, he didn't do that, he didn't do that. But y'all didn't look at all of the facts and say, oh, that's the reason why he didn't. Because Canelo wouldn't fight him. Because Bivol wouldn't fight him. Now, Jao Witai is lining up other fights, even though.
But what about when he ducked Caleb Plant when Caleb Plant was undefeated? What about that, Free?
He didn't duck no Caleb Plant.
He didn't make the fight, and they both was undefeated.
Caleb Plant was the A side. He was the champion.
How was he the A side? They both had belts.
Dog, Caleb Plant was the A side. Nobody knew who David Benavidez was. Caleb Plant was on the uprise. David Benavidez wasn't known by anybody.
Yeah, David Benavidez got stripped for for missing weight.
It was missing weight the second time. He got stripped the first time for doing narcotics. I mean, so this is the thing.
White girl.
So this is the thing. The man used illegal substances. The man doesn't make weight. And Canelo said it best. I would have fought him if he had a championship. But everybody conveniently misses that part of it. But I'm gonna tell y'all this.
I'm glad you said that, because Canelo said he would have fought him if he had a championship. So why did Canelo skip over 68 and go to 75?
That was a good fight. When that Joe Smith Jr. That was a good fight.
I didn't ask you was it a good fight. I said, why did he skip over 68 and go to 75 when David Benavidez had a championship at 68? He skipped over.
Because he was daring to be great. He was daring to be great.
Yeah, I bet.
Nah, he pulled a half-dead Kovalev into the ring. You need to stop it.
Hold on. Kovalev was half dead, but he had just stopped Anthony.
He just fought Wardley 8 weeks before, and then Canelo put a rehydration clause on it. And the man was like, what, 38 years old?
He fought Kovalev on an 8-week notice.
After he had just had a war with Anthony Yarde. Immediately after that fight. 8 weeks after
he
that
stopped
fight.
Yarde.
And wouldn't rematch the man ever again. Kovalev wanted a rematch, he wouldn't rematch him.
Kovalev, who he stopped?
You just gotta be real about no nuts tomato Canelo. You gotta be real. That guy has zero nuts. Pure estrogen running through his veins. It's like when you talk about those girly men, he's one of them. No nuts at all whatsoever. And like, listen, I'm on your side with some of the Jao Benavidez stuff, but Canelo was just an absolute.
Canelo was ducking.
Outrageous ducks I've ever seen. Oh, he like payday. You'll never get the fight. I've never seen that before, where a guy uses, oh, you just want to get a payday out of me. Yeah,
he said it to Demetrius Andre.
I've never seen somebody use that as an excuse to duck out of a fight.
They created a belt so he wouldn't fight Jamal Charlo. They created a belt so he wouldn't fight Jamal Charlo.
Like he had his own weight class for a little while.
He would have beat
Canelo.
He would have beat Jamal Charlo, man. We gotta stop this, man.
What could have, should have, would have? Yeah. What are you talking about?
The difference in that, BVO, what you believe and what you know are two different things. You believe he would have beat Jamal Charlo. We don't know if he will beat Jamal Charlo because he never fought him. So there's two different things. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I have no problem with that. That's your belief. But what
if my grandmother would have had wheels, she would have been a bike. Like what you said.
Hold on. Now that's sick, Mark. If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. That's all. That's how much these guys love Jao Witai. They'll say sick stuff. Hey, David Benavidez. That's how much. I'll take that back. That's how much they hate Jao Witai. That's what it is.
That's how much you love Canelo. This is a discussion about tomato Canelo.
How are we talking about Canelo? You put that on Jao Witai.
I'm gonna put like this. If I haven't said it once, I said it twice. We've been working today. If I haven't said it once, I said it twice. Jao Witai is being ducked by David Benavidez, and Benavidez is doing the same stuff Canelo did to him. And
So
I
how
think it's sad to see so many people, especially Marky Dan, who's an historian. We've seen this with Charlie Burley. We've seen this with a guy. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy named Sam Lanford, D Free. We've seen the same thing with Bud Crawford recently. We've seen guys get ducked and almost missed the opportunity. This has been the history of boxing. There was something called the Black Murderers Row. A lot of people are not familiar with that. But that's another example of how they isolate guys, especially guys of color, from getting the opportunity. They did the same thing. They did the same thing to the Mongoose, where they didn't give him his shot till he was old.
Yeah,
And I think they're trying.
Canelo did the same thing to David Benavidez and the Charlos. I'm glad we're on the same page about this.
But guess I said that. I said that. So he's repeating what he's seen Canelo do.
No, the problem is you can't say a guy that is ducking somebody when he didn't have an offer sent to him, and the guy had other fights that he made. He made other fights outside of David Benavidez. So David Benavidez didn't have an offer. They wasn't reaching out to David Benavidez' team. And then he made fights with other guys, but David Benavidez is the one that's ducking. He just had a fight a month ago, but he's the one that's ducking. This man.
Hey, shout out to the commissioner for that 5-piece.
He didn't even get 2 months to celebrate his daggone. He didn't even get a week to celebrate.
You don't get to celebrate Free. You told me fighters fight. That's what Free told me.
No.
Fighters fight.
You started saying this man was working for a week after he celebrated. After he won the fight from Zurdo, you started saying this man was ducking. He was only out of the fight a week, and not to mention David Benavidez. John Obertal already had a fight lined up that he was trying to make with Noel. He was already trying to make that fight. But David Benavidez was the one ducking a week later. Y'all gotta make sense.
Y'all do me a favor. Y'all do me a favor, man. Y'all smash the like button. We need some channel members, man. Y'all become channel members so we can help the channel grow, man. What I'm gonna start doing is starting tomorrow. If you are a channel member, I'm gonna let you come on the panel. And for now on, we're gonna make sure we have channel members only up here, and we're gonna rock and have some fun, because you know what's going on in boxing? We are affecting the algorithm together, because no more can the Davis sexuals, can the Canelo fans like myself block great fighters. We can only see the best fight the best. That's all we can do.
You got some great in the chat.
Oh yeah, salute to my man Uncle Curtis with that 5-piece for the great cook like always. Blessings coming. I appreciate you, man. And I'm gonna say this: I think Zuffa's good for boxing, and I think the fact is this. People want to hide from Zuffa because Zuffa's going to make these guys fight. Zuffa is nothing wrong with Zuffa. Zuffa is a great thing. I done heard people say, if you go to Zuffa, you ducking. How is going to Zuffa ducking? That's my only question. Tell me this. How?
I'll put it this way.
Go ahead.
If you have a fight right here, you have a fight on this side, this side of the spectrum, and they're trying to make the fight on this side of the spectrum, and you go from that side of the spectrum to the opposite side of the spectrum and say, let's make the fight happen. Why go all the way over here when you was sitting right there? You was literally sitting at the front door. You was in the yard, sitting at the front door, knocking on the door, saying, hey, let's make the fight happen. You decided to go all the way across town to daggone BVO land in Cleveland and say, hey, let's make the fight over here.
Here we go. You know,
we can make the fight over here.
I'm gonna tell y'all something about Free.
I ain't got no car, dog. He was right here. I ain't got no car to get all the way over to BVO land. You got a car. You drove all the way over there. I was right here. Now I gotta wait on the number 2 bus and then catch a train and then catch another train and then get on another bus.
Hey, you know what's funny? That's why I love Free. Free is a great storyteller, and Free actually make you think he's telling you something cool, because he know that David Benavidez is ducking. He knows that. He said, wow, it's amazing how Free brain come up with so much BS. That's a real talent. This dude a goofball.
It's a real talent. I just want to all of y'all come back, because see, this is the difference between me and all of y'all that's in the chat that's sitting here acting like I don't want this fight. Y'all pulling for Jao Overtime to beat David Benavidez. I'm just pulling for the fight. I don't care who wins the fight. So if David wins this fight, I want to see how many of y'all that's gonna come back, because there's a guy that used to come around, and when David Benavidez became the unified champion, when David Benavidez knocked out Anthony Yarde, that guy hasn't came back around. And he's a heavy Ja Overtime fan. That man hasn't came back around. And BVO knows exactly what I'm talking about. He hasn't came back around. Because he was like, oh, David gonna get stopped by Anthony Yarde. Oh, David gonna lose to Zurdo. That man hasn't been back since. He hasn't been back since. So,
hey, shout out to my brother Carl, man. That dude free coat. Shout out to my brother Carl.
Salute to my brother Carl. That's my guy.
If they beat Ja Overtime, if they make this fight, if David beat Ja Overtime, I want to know how many of y'all gonna come back around. Because I'm gonna be here.
Well, Carl will come back around and Ja Overtime beat David Benavidez. That's an Australian through and through. Yeah, Aussie.
He said
Shrimp on the
WC make
barbie.
their. He said WC make their own rules. Go LOL. They don't want the Samoan to hold their green belt. Trust corrupt Mexican organization. And
That's
you know
what
what's
I
funny?
said.
I think because I think for whatever reason, because my man Ja Overtime is the tribal chief of boxing, they don't want to give him his just due, man. And it's sad. It's sad, man.
You got to understand. Before you came around, I've been telling BVO that Suleiman is corrupt. Me and Marky been telling BVO that Suleiman's corrupt. BVO was on the side of Suleiman. Now, because it's a fighter that he likes, oh, now Suleiman is corrupt.
Okay. Now y'all been
BVO is the telltale example.
You can't talk about Suleiman like that. His father was a great man. He did everything for blacks.
BVO is a
his father did.
BVO is a Johnny come lately. That's what he is. Now he want to be on the Suleiman is a corrupt Mexican politician.
Shut his mic off. That's what we gonna do.
No,
Shut that fool's mic off.
I'm speaking facts. You're Johnny come lately, boy. You're Johnny come lately.
Y'all stay around long enough. Y'all understand. Free is consistent because I don't have a favorite fighter. BVO will tell you, I don't have a favorite. I got family that actually box in the sport of boxing. One of them is a champion. One of them was a champion for 6 years. So I don't have no favorites. They're not my favorites. I don't have no favorites. I just like the sport of boxing, and I just call it straight down the middle. Like my cousin needs to get his tail back in the ring ASAP.
I'm gonna ask you this though. That's not gonna happen. He part of the Boxing Brothers club now. They're not gonna fight. But let me ask you this: do you really think David Benavidez will fight the tribal chief?
Do I believe he will what?
You think he'll fight the tribal chief, Ja Overtime?
I think he'll fight Ja Overtime. I just don't think. I think it's going to be if Ja Overtime is willing to come on this side. I mean, maybe David Benavidez will come around and say, okay, you know what? We're doing on a ring card. But other than that, I don't. Unless Ja Overtime is willing to fight on David Benavidez's terms, because right now David Benavidez holds all the keys. Ja Overtime, yes, he is the Ring Magazine champion. I give it to him. He's the guy. He's the guy to beat. Because when we look at who's the linear champion, Ja Overtime is the linear champion. But right now, David Benavidez is the bigger star. He's the bigger name. He has 2 of the belts, going for the 3rd belt, and he's probably going to get the 4th belt. So Ja Overtime is going to have to come over here and fight on David Benavidez's terms because he is the bigger name. Ja Overtime got paid $1.5 million in his last fight. David Benavidez got $9 million in his last fight. David Benavidez's opponent got $4 million. So Ja Overtime opponent got $200,000. David Benavidez is the bigger name. So he's gonna have to come to his terms. Everybody keeps saying, oh, the A side, the A side. Well, the A side is telling you what you need to do to make the fight. You can't sit and say that David Benavidez is the A side, but you want the A side to do all the stuff for the B side. That's what the B side tells them to do. That's the reason why he told him before, you gotta fight O'Shaquie Foster. You're the A side. You told him to do this. He did it. He beat him. You gotta fight O'Shaquie Foster.
Hey, 68-5. Oh man, we ain't fighting Ja till 2 years past. Free forgot about that. And my man SS said it best. Shout to SS. That's a legendary comment. He said that PBC got David Benavidez by the balls. he calls Turkey and PBC when he want to be on his ass because he's not gonna fight Joe Batai, man. He's not gonna fight Joe Batai. Now these guys get up here and say this, bad faith actor stuff like I'm just a wishy washy guy. The whole reason we talked about Joe Batai is because I made up in my mind I was not gonna keep talking about these same little fights that don't matter. How many times we talk about Tank versus Devin? That's never gonna happen. But we know for a fact that David Benavidez is the new Canelo. He's ducking and dodging. And it's sad that brothers won't just admit what's going on. And I think it's probably one of the saddest things I've ever seen. We got us to where people go so far, they call Ja Obatai Radio Ja Obatai. That's sick. That's
So, Video, what
diabolical.
what 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 you gonna say if, let's say, David Benavidez makes the Ja Overtime fight? Let's say
I'm gonna say
he makes the Ja Overtime fight after this Noel fight, or if Noel drops the belt and
mhm.
David Benavidez get awarded the WBC title. What you gonna say then that he made the
You're
Ja
gonna
Overtime
admit
fight?
he got nuts?
I'm gonna say this. He said free DB got paid big money, and yet they sold nothing in the pay-per-view.
No,
How they
it
the
doesn't
A
count.
side?
No,
They
I
make
don't.
it similar numbers. That's a fact. That's a
No,
fact.
you say they haven't sold anything on the pay-per-views. What was the pay-per-view numbers? Because on the zone, you get an ultimate package. You don't know what the numbers are. So once again, how do you know what the pay-per-view numbers was?
I think we don't know. I think no matter how we slice this game up, is that hey, we see that David Benavidez is ducking. That's the verdict for the day. And Ja Obatai don't sell no tickets, y'all. We know he don't sell no tickets. So let's not get up here capping. This dude sold 30,000 with Demetrius Andre. But I'm gonna say this, man. Keep your faith in God. We'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate everybody showing love. And if he did 100,000 pay-per-views, that's terrible.
No,
I
it's
keep
a
trying to
hundred.
tell.
Hold on, 100,000 pay-per-views for the people that bought it, but you're not taking into consideration everybody that had the zone ultimate package that in the U.S. was paying $15 extra on top of um, their normal subscription. So, like I
Hey,
said,
shoot,
you don't know what the pay per views is because it was shown on the Zone and Prime. The
PBC.
Prime
Yeah.
numbers, the Prime numbers might have been 100, 150,000, but the Zone numbers might have been a lot more.
It was 102,000 for Prime. That's what Prime said. They sold
Yeah, so
102,000.
that's what I'm saying. So that's under Prime, but also you got to think about it. It was shown on the Zone. Everybody that has a ultimate package, or if you didn't have the ultimate package, you had to pay for it. The Zone don't give out their numbers, so you don't know what the Zone numbers are.
My man said DB said he in a Mexican interview that he wants Noel in November and they want to start cutting weight for 175. He's a witch. Yeah, that's I mean, we've been saying it about Dave Benavidez for a while. Rumor is that Rick Glazer said that the pay-per-view did
No,
150,000.
ain't nobody listen to Rick Glazer.
Shoot to my
No,
man Cottage 81. Y'all make sure y'all
Yeah,
check
I
my
ain't
brother
listening
out.
to a guy whose last name is Glazer. Hell no.
Hey, y'all
man.
check out my man Cottage 81. Y'all make sure y'all check him out for all your basketball needs, man. That brother be talking some good basketball. He ain't showing my Knicks no love, but I want you guys to know, orange and blue skies, baby. Orange and blue skies.
I just
He
want
said,
to
They,
say
they did it yesterday.
prayers to the
They
prayers to the
got it.
NYPD if the Knicks go ahead and win that championship. Prayers out to those gentlemen.
you sick, man. Everybody, he said, everybody talking about pay-per-view numbers. Me, let's see the boxers speak in the ring with their fists. Benavidez is pound for pound best
I'm
today.
not. I'm not talking about
Jose.
pay-per-view. They
Jose,
brought up.
that was nuts. What you just said at $90 a piece, they give me terrible. He said
No,
again, free
hey,
a real talent. I'm gonna tell you that dude talking crazy. seven
no,
thousand
not
tickets on a 20,000 seat arena is horrible. That is
no.
horrible. That
It
is
is, but
horrible.
Ja Overtime last fight was in a 4,000 seat arena.
It was sold out.
Yeah, 4,000 seats. I will hope so. Only 4,000 seats.
I mean, you put David Benavidez in there with John Pataya in any arena in the United States of America. I guarantee you, the Aussie boys are gonna travel.
I want to see that fight. I ain't gonna lie.
It was sold out. They would have
he
sold
don't
out
got a
to the winner.
country. He don't got a country behind him, free. He got a continent behind him, god damn it. Or
I'm a,
excuse me,
I'm gonna
golly.
say that.
No,
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say
no, this
this.
man sitting here talking about
I want to see Ja Obata and
no.
David Benavidez in Cleveland at the Rocket Field
Man,
House
nobody coming
for
to
all the
Cleveland. What's
belts.
wrong with you?
Hold on,
Are you
That's what I
hold
want
on,
to
crazy?
see,
hold
man.
up, hold up. SS. Even if what you saying is correct, which I don't believe because the zone don't put out their pay-per-view numbers. But even if you say that and everything you say is correct, you said Ja did 80,000 pay-per-views, sold out 6,000 tickets. That's not better than what you said about David Benavidez. No matter how you look at it, it's still not better than David Benavidez.
Hey, my boy Cottage 81 hitting me with some more cap. Yo, is David Benavidez overrated? No. I think David Benavidez is a very great fighter. I think he's one of the best in the world. I have him number 2 pound for pound on my list. And I think that he just is what's the word in Spanish? He's just a pendejo. So it just happens like that. But I think he can fight. We'll see if he does fight. I just don't think he got the intestinal fortitude to make a big fight. And that's okay. He wants to be the new Canelo, and that's okay. And shout out to Mauricio for being his dad and covering and making sure he don't have to fight nobody no more. But all I'll say is this, man. Y'all smash the like button, give us some likes, become a channel member, man. Y'all hit the thing. Let's do this, man. We got it, man. We out of here, y'all. Peace.
For the plane out to Cleveland late last season.
Ohio. Cleveland! This is for you! Oh!
BVO Basket.